APTA Network, presented by eNet Live. I'm Brad Easterbrook. Soon alongside Mark Innes, who's having some technical difficulty, bringing you the men's semifinal action between our number 2 seeds of Mark Powers and John Hughes, and the number 4 seeds of Mick Erdoga and Sven Buresh. So we look forward to a terrific match out here. Neither team had too difficult a run here. They all went straight sets. Nobody lost a set. Tough 7-5 first set against Lipiver and Protsenko yesterday for Powers and Hughes, and very workmanlike performance for Erdoga and Buresh, going straight sets. I think their quarterfinal match was 6-2, 6-3 against a very good team of Kayla and Ram. So both teams coming in great form. They have faced each other a number of times before, with 3-set battles being the norm a couple of times. And then this year they faced each other once in the beginning of the year in Long Island. And Powers and Hughes were down early in the first set. And Buresh and Erdoga looked great when Powers and Hughes kind of turned it on and went onto a roll where they got their first match. So we hear the umpire, Mark Bliss, in the background. He's getting ready to do the toss with the players. Let him talk. We got a little photo action there for our semifinalists. Now this looks to be an extremely entertaining match.
That's a spin.
Yep. And there's a spin. Buresh and Erdoga were down 6-1, 5-love at one point last year to Powers and Hughes, and came all the way back to 7-6 in the third. They match up well. Sven Buresh has a great serve into Mark Powers' incredibly huge forehand return, but it's not easy to return that. So it takes away, it kind of neutralizes one of those weapons. And then you got the 2 lefties out there. So we're going to have to see how this one plays out. Great volleying team. I look for, one of the important things I'm going to look for today is Buresh and Erdoga and their ability to position themselves at the net. Powers and Hughes spot their drives extremely well. And if you're not in position, you're going to be in trouble. They're going to get you reaching and missing. Now you can hear in the background our other semifinal match. Their announcer there is announcing Mitchell and Durant against Tyler Frazier and Adam Morgan. All right, and there's a round of applause for those guys on the other semifinal match. Now, real quickly, our players on the court, just to do a quick introduction, although most of these guys need no introduction. On the top left of your screen, left-handed player is Mick Erdoga. Oh, here comes Mark Bliss, the umpire.
The 2021 APTA National Championships. This is a men's semifinal match featuring, from on my left in the ad court, from Montclair, New Jersey, Sven Buresh, his partner from Verona, New Jersey, Mick Erdoga. On my right, we've got lefty in the deuce court, John Hughes from Granby, Connecticut, and his partner, Mark Powers from New York, New York. This match is best 2 out of 3 tie-break sets using a 5-game ball rotation. You guys won and you're receiving, correct? Hughes Powers won the spin of the paddle and have elected to receive. See,
all right.
Already roached.
Well, we got a Well, we're looking forward to a great match, and welcome, Mark Innes. You just found your way to some a nice, safe spot where you can announce with me. Welcome to the match here. We just got and we got perfect timing here. Hopefully, we got a little weather window. And we were just going over the umpire, Mark Bliss, just announced the players on the court. Powers Hughes won the toss and have elected to receive. And let's just do a quick talk about what you think about this matchup here.
Absolutely. So two extremely close matchups right here. These teams have met, I think, three times last season, and the matches all went the distance. It was long 3-set matches, and I actually spoke briefly to Mark Powers about a week ago and asked him, who's the team that he generally doesn't love facing, and he mentioned Erdoga Buresh because it's just always such a grinding and dueling matchup. So I think we're really in for a dogfight over here. I'll be interested to see if the weather makes a difference, but it's going to be a real barn burner, Brad.
Yeah, well, it's okay right now, the weather. You can see the dry spots on the court. Anytime you see where it's the dark blue and the light blue, or the light green parts are the light parts are dry. There are bad weather systems out there. We got a little lull. That's why we're playing here.
These guys a new ball.
1:30. So I think they're each gonna maybe even start off without the warm up here with brand new balls, if that's what the umpire is suggesting there. But yeah, Buresh or Erdoga, the Buresh serve sort of negates a little the returning of Powers Hughes, and they have huge returns. You got the incredible offense from Erdoga. Going to look to see how the Buresh offense is. It's been improving and continues to prove along, but it can be streaky at times. In every other way, he's extremely consistent. I would say the better kill overhead exists from Mark Powers. Erdoga can spin it, but he hasn't shown the ability to finish the point outright, Mark, that often. But
yeah, you're absolutely right, Brad. And if it does start to skid a little bit, you would assume there's a slight advantage for Hughes and Powers, especially with John Hughes' big spin overheads and that long deep one that really skids. But we're not there just yet. So there's a lot of variables, but best believe we're in for a showdown.
I think we are indeed in for a showdown. And the biggest area too is how will Buresh and Erdoga play this? A lot of teams have gone to dumping the ball soft into the Hughes forehand and make him beat them with a forehand, because Powers and Hughes, if you play fast and get the ball hard into their screens going off, they're one of the best teams in the country. They dig out almost every ball, and when you start speeding it up off the screens, that's when they really excel. So it will be interesting to see what kind of strategies each team uses.
I would assume that Buresh or Erdoga would go with that slower pace, lot of push overheads over to the John Hughes forehand and really make him beat you. They found success with that at Longmeadow throughout the tournament. They beat Johanna Runt and Stephen Mitchell in the final of that tournament, and that was the strategy that they really seemed to use a lot, was slower pace, pushing that ball, because they both volley so well.
They volley extremely well, but they don't always position themselves perfectly. I think.
Correct. Definitely one of the critiques of their game is their positioning and who takes which overheads. We may even see a little bit of a
Well, either way, we look forward to a great battle here between our second and fourth seeds, trying to get it in this weather window here. It's actually a perfect day to play. If the rains don't come, players love the clouds. You don't have the sun to contend with. Both teams do have a lefty, but if it stays dry, that'll bode well for everybody out there. It's still raining, though. You can see the drops.
Buresh or Erdoga are up to serve first.
Play.
And we have Mick Erdoga lining up.
Oh, great lob there from Buresh. Good first point there, Mark Innes.
15 love.
I think we're going to see a lot of these long points, Brad. Fantastic serve and stay back there by Erdoga.
I think we're going to see a lot of that. It's 30 love, Buresh and Erdoga.
Love.
All right, couple of early misses here from Hughes and Powers. Everybody trying to feel their way in to the match. Oh.
Game Buresh, Erdoga. They lead 1 game to love. First set.
Quick game there for Buresh and Erdoga.
Yeah,
they know
sloppy game.
Yeah, they know it's not all going to be that easy, but they'll take it early on when they can get it for sure.
Oh, that's the greatest gift of all. But whenever that does happen, you got to say to yourself, my opponents are going to start playing better, and it's just the first game, so.
Love. 30 love.
Was that serve just out?
No, it's called 30 love by Mark Bliss.
Huh.
40 love.
The rain's coming down now.
Yeah, you can see it now.
Yeah, it is. It's going to make it a rough match. It's going to be very interesting out there.
Game Hughes, Powers. Games are 1-all. First set.
Those were not typical misses from Buresh and Erdoga. That rain's definitely going to be a factor. That ball will start to be skidding.
And how you adjust to it's going to be a huge factor. Heavier rain, people think it boats the people with a lot more spin. You can cut the over, but anyone can make a ball skid in the heavy rain.
15 love.
It's actually advantageous to go flatter through the ball, and it just depends on the court. Assuming these are very well surfaced, and serving even as well. If you try to put a ton of spin on it, the ball just does not react the same. There's 2 faults out of Buresh.
15-30.
This is definitely going to be a mental test and see who can adjust to the elements, because your grip gets slippery. It's, as you said, on a serve, if you have a lot of spin, you just don't feel confident cutting it or really brushing on it because it doesn't grab. It's going to be tricky.
That's the bottom of the net there for John Hughes. He's going to have to keep that thing out in front of him.
Fault.
That's fault again.
30-40.
And Buresh has one of the better serves on the tour. And it's a rare 3-fault game for him so far. It'd be a shame for Hughes and Powers to waste this one. Let him get away with it. That's a good third panel smash.
You see the harder overheads with the weather. As you said, Erdoga hitting harder and through the ball.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of pressure on with those. He's really making Powers stretch a couple of times. That one that he's putting right back. Oh, and that is a rough push ball to keep it low because they were getting so much pressure. But I tell you, if Buresh hits the serve in, Hughes Powers hasn't won a point yet on the receiving end. That's a great shot there.
Wow.
Advantage, Buresh, Erdoga.
It's definitely one of Erdoga's strengths is how he plays in transition. He loves the transition game. He tries to force it, and he really is comfortable at picking where to drive off that screen and flipping the script on his opponents.
Game Buresh, Erdoga. They lead 2 games to 1. First set.
A hold with 2. Was it 2 faults or 3?
3 faults.
And a hold. There we go.
Yeah, 3 faults were actually the only points they've gotten. Hughes and Powers just have not adjusted yet to the rain. They're going to have to figure this one out. I mean, theoretically, it's easier to hold serve in the rain. So good chances they, it's just they haven't been broken yet. That's the whole key is can you get the breaks? You should be able to hold serve much better in the rain.
It's definitely a big emphasis on trying to get the net, right, Brad, when it's these sort of elements, because as you said, if you actually get the net, it's quite easy to win the point because of that harder overhead you can hit. This ball skids. Your opponents at the baseline can't just survive for hundreds and hundreds of balls like we generally see in a paddle match.
Now you see Hughes getting ready to test out his serve. He's going to take one to see how the spin's working for him. Because he hits a heavy cut serve. And if he's not able to do that, we may see he might have to go to a flatter, almost like a karate chop type serve, which is actually very useful in the rain. It skids anyway. It's a good one, but great shot there. Good leave by Hughes.
15 love.
See a switch here by Hughes and Powers. Hughes and Powers play pretty traditional.
30 love.
They don't do a lot of cutting off balls at the net, one up, one back. They pretty much work to stay, hold the net together, and then when they get an attacking shot to finish, they will.
40 love.
Just like that, which was a great cut finish there from Mark Powers.
40-15.
That's a great lob there from Buresh. There we go, keeping the balls in play now. Good job.
$40-30.
Fantastic drive there by Erdoga. Spots the middle open, threads the needle, and catches Mark Powers with the reach.
Good quick drive there.
What are some rainy day adjustments you generally tell players to make, Brad?
You cannot rely on the heavy spin shots. You got to hit through the ball. Oh, there's a couple of faults there from Hughes. Creeping back in. You definitely have to be careful. You don't want to hit down up overheads. You can hit the ball through the court. They're going to skid more. That's another fault, I believe.
Advantage, Buresh Adroya.
All right, so 3-fault game here for Hughes, and that's a 4-fault game.
Buresh Adroya.
And there we see it, right? The ball's just not catching on the paddle. So generally, when it's not wet, it's the paddle, the grit in the paddle, and the hole is going to really catch that ball and spin it in. When it's slick like this, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I tend to go to a different kind of a flatter chopping serve motion in this weather. You cannot spin the ball as well. It does not. It bites, and they've found that net 6 times, and they just seem completely deflated by the weather here. And they're kind of going through their motions right now.
This could be a good time to bring out the Anton Porsenko serve.
Yeah, maybe. Just push it. Oh, wow. I've seen more errors, I believe, in this first set than this is more than a set's worth of errors in the first 4 games. It's interesting. If the Masters on at the same time as the Nationals here, and they were talking yesterday about the rain and how it completely changed everything for Justin Thomas, right? And this adjustment to the rain is going to be a huge part of today for everyone out there.
Absolutely, it's going to be a real dogfight. You're not going to have your comfort that you usually have when you're out there playing paddle for any of these plays. It's really going to be scrappy.
And it tends to be an equalizer. And then certain guys are just better in the rain, and that is wide. And Powers Hughes just, they haven't found a way to attack yet at all. They haven't had a strong return. They're lobbing, keeping it in, but taking a strike on the ball in the middle of the point hasn't existed for him yet. That was long.
40-15.
Oh, that's in. Sneaky.
There's one of John Hughes' favorite moves, climbing that side wire. Definitely something that's going to be harder to do today with that ball skidding.
Game, Buresh, Adroya.
A little long.
They lead 4-1. First set, new ball.
Well, now is a perfect time to talk about one of our great sponsors, Upswing Health. Did you make it through the entire paddle season without medical assistance? Have any end-of-season aches or pains, maybe a sore shoulder, elbow, or knee? Are you aware that the APTA partnership with Upswing Health provides access to professional athletic trainers virtually? Wouldn't it be great to learn more about your injury and maybe get some free tips so you can feel better now and maybe play injury-free next year? It is available right now at no cost. The APTA invites you to visit our partner, upswinghealth.com. Check out their site, diagnose your injury, and talk to your own athletic trainer. If you fill out a brief survey about your experience at Upswing before the end of the month, you'll be entered into a raffle for one of 5 free Viking paddles. Check out upswinghealth.com/APTA today. All right, so we're underway, and it's all Buresh, Erdoga, and the Uri goings, and they're just adjusting to this weather so much better right now than Hughes and Powers.
Yeah, and even just their body language, they definitely seem to be a lot more comfortable, even when they do make some misses, like those serves that we saw miss from Buresh earlier. They don't seem to be letting it phase them as much.
Well, I mean, it's one thing not to let it phase them, but I mean, Powers and Hughes didn't put a ball in play other than the fault serves. I mean, they barely put 2 or 3 in. Here they're trying to stay consistent. But have you seen, I mean, we're 5 games in. Have you seen a single attacking shot yet from Hughes Powers?
I have not.
Right. I mean, so they're clear, and we've seen at least 3 or 4. You know, I mean, the other game that they did break on was primarily the 3 faults from Hughes. They were 40 love, but they at least were able to hit 2 or 3 quick screen drives, you know, and they're definitely putting a lot more pressure on right now.
Do you generally feel like when it's wet like this, you have to take a couple more risks from the baseline, even though you might bleed a couple more errors than you usually would?
Yeah, you have to go really either a lot higher with the overheads or a lot lower. And then you also need to take some screen drives flat and through, and off the deck it's a little trickier depending, because you don't know if the ball's going to skid or not. And that was, you know, so we got Mark Powers now serving, 15 love up. Oh, great shot there from Buresh. And Buresh actually hits a flat ball. He basically hits it completely flat.
30 love.
I would think the rain is going to work in his favor almost completely. And Erdoga does use a fair amount. That's a heck of a serve right there.
Wow.
Well, he got 2 or 3 aces in the first game, if you remember, Mark Ennis. He just crushing it in there. And that's long. Oh, it's not. I guess it was just a little video blip or...
Game, Hughes, Powers, Buresh, Adroya lead 4-2, first set.
Now, so Powers, no problem getting his serve in. And, you know, we've seen a couple of points, maybe 20, 30 balls, but not a single point beyond that. That was the first return.
John Hughes definitely looking to unleash on a couple forehands there, loosen up a bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to get looser. There we go. That's a good shot. Buresh, Erdoga play a lot of forehand volleys, as opposed to somebody like Drew Broderick, who's always getting his body behind the ball. They'll play more forehand volleys than anybody else. Now there's the good flat backhand. Great
Love
shot.
30.
Takes it off the screen. Buresh might be a little unnerved by his first service game where he faulted 3 times.
Love 40.
You can see him trying to wipe the paddle there.
They're all doing that. They all should have, actually, in this type of weather too, and most paddle players don't do this, but it's always good to be prepared. You know, you would want maybe 2 to 3 or 4 paddles to use here today. Plus, you just never do that to John Hughes. He got lucky. He got away
15,
with one.
40.
You try to bounce it over John Hughes' head is the worst play you can make. You can push it at him deep. Do not try to bounce it over his head. He got very lucky there. Hughes, he went all
30,
the way
40.
over and didn't commit to hitting an aggressive forehand. Leaves himself open, wide. If they let this 40 love game go, that's going to be rough for Powers Hughes mentally.
Yeah, that's 2 of them.
Yep. Oh, that's just a short lob, just crushing overheads by doing a great job, Erdoga, really, with his attacking overheads.
And that was a big difference maker in their quarterfinal match up yesterday against Kayla Rams. The Erdoga overhead was really on fire. A lot of rollers, a lot of spin overheads right at Kayla and Rams. They both played relatively flawless yesterday.
Yeah, they just cruised through the draw, and they made short work. And that's a heck of a shot, and they come up with some attacking balls in that game. And
Game Hughes Powers. Buresh Adroya lead 4-3, first set.
Yeah, and that was a great comeback and a good adjustment. They finally found their footing. You had Powers with a huge backhand. Hughes hit a couple of huge forehands there. Let's see if they can keep it up. Still got to hold serve. And now we got Hughes, who faulted 3 times. He's got to forget that.
He's definitely looking to be more comfortable. He's starting to settle in, both Hughes and Powers there. So, as you said, if they lost that game after being 40 love up, they were definitely going to be in a dark place. They managed to break Buresh, and now it's relatively tied up. Hughes and Powers taking their time between games.
That's a great return from Erdoga.
Love 15.
Two great returns.
Love 30.
Wow.
Wow.
The one-handed
Love
backhand
40.
ripper. Erdoga.
That was just huge. Now, there's going to be some, you can see the adjustment now. See, Hughes is getting his serve in this time, but Hughes has a huge, heavy cut spin serve, right? And you see him, he's just placing it in, and now the ball's just sitting up. And he's used to being able to hold his, to take the net. But these guys are just crushing returns right now.
Absolutely. He's going to definitely have to make an adjustment mentally, because usually he gets straight to the net with no problems. Very few players can drive his serve off the deck.
Game Buresh Adroya. They lead
And there we see it,
5-3,
broken to love.
First set.
I feel like some of this match is just going to come down to how well these guys compete, and you're just going to have to grit out the conditions. I mean, there are still some dry spots on the court. It's clearly wet, and the ball's picked up a lot of moisture. It's a rubber ball, so it's not the core of the ball, but the outside is all felt flocking, and it just picks up the moisture. Hughes looks a little hangdog right now.
15 all.
That's a good point there. Erdoga not coming in on the powers return, electing to stay back each time. Lefty serve is usually so much better to the deuce court than the ad court as well.
Erdoga doesn't seem to have struggled much with the serve, even with the wet conditions. He missed one, maybe two, but that's about it.
Yeah,
And
Erdoga
he's still
powers.
able to hit it pretty comfortably.
He's hitting it heavy, the same serve as Zoe normally hits. And I don't know if it's coming across on the live stream, but Durant Mitchell won there for 6-1 against Morgan and Frazier. So they cruised to an easy first set victory. I love that play, allowing Erdoga to sneak up, and they put Buresh in the middle. That's tough. Can't miss lobs. That's 2 lobs.
30 all.
Erdoga serving for the set.
Wow. I mean, that's 3 routine misses there from
40,
John Hughes.
30.
He's going to have to sort of work his head into this. His set point right now for Buresh Erdoga. Erdoga is feeling it. He's going all over for those forehands.
He is definitely looking dialed in. Both him and Sven Buresh are looking for their first national championship, so you know they're hungry.
Well, they're looking for their first final. I mean, this is a big moment for them. They had a breakthrough winning their first Grand Prix this year.
Hughes.
Great job by Hughes and Power saving that set point. Good cut overhead there by Hughes. Confidently hit. He's got to keep seeing more of that. Got to fight through these conditions. It looks like it's drying up a little right now, but we expect it to be spotty rain, and I think bad stuff's coming in probably around 5 o'clock. At least that's the initial forecast. So this is probably as good as it's going to be playing condition-wise right now. Good ball there from Hughes.
Erdoga closing the net.
Nice. Well, he did a great job. I like the fact that Hughes wasn't afraid to take some cuts, but he took so many drives without driving him back off the net first that he was ready for that last one. He closed right in, just like you said, Mark Ennis, and he stuck that volley.
Set point number 2. Wow.
Nice volley. Yeah, he gets way down. I actually loved what I saw that last point when he closed in, because he needs to do more of that. Sometimes he'll stay at the service line and volley that ball right from his shoelaces. He catches him reaching. What a spot there from Hughes.
Really good spot by John Hughes, because he drove that last one off the screen at Erdoga, so he's mixing it up, always keeping those net players guessing.
That's 2 saved, and I like the way they've played those points. Confidently hit their shots. They made a miss. Wasn't the other way around. Good job.
Another one-hander.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Oh, no. Just misplays that. Tough one.
Advantage, Buresh Erdoga.
Erdoga and Buresh taking a little bit of time before set point number 3.
Right.
I like all the different. I like all the formations that they're busy playing on Mark Powers.
Oh, and he just
Game
whiffs,
and
basically.
first set, Buresh Erdoga. 6 games to 3. 2 minute.
And there it is, first set, Buresh Erdoga, they take it 6-3 over Hughes and Powers. Definitely a scrappy set, but both teams did seem to settle in. Buresh and Erdoga just looked a lot more comfortable early on. What do you think, Brad?
Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. We'll talk about it when we
I
come
usually
back, because
just
we'll be
start
right back
counting.
in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
1, 2, 3.
What are you guys counting?
Stars.
Where do you see stars?
On all these cars.
Spot a star in a BMW, and you're looking at a BMW from BMW of Springfield, part of the Celebrity Motor Car Group. The star is your assurance you'll receive exclusive red carpet treatment like no other.
Look, Mommy, now our car is a star.
The fastest way to get the status you deserve and the value you expect is to follow the star to BMW of Springfield.
All right, welcome back to the APTA 2021 Nationals, presented by eNet Live and ProFlight Live. And great set there from Buresh Erdoga, reacting to the elements much better. They came out more focused, with more energy, and basically you're just reacting to the situation better than Hughes and Powers right from the get-go. And they take that first set, Mark Innes.
Absolutely. What adjustments would you want to see from Hughes and Powers besides the obvious of, you know, making more shots? John Hughes missed a couple that generally he never would.
Right. I mean, that they're just going to have to clean it. And now you see the weather's coming down heavy. So this one, this actually, I can't see it's going to hurt them more or less. It's certainly not going to help them. But, I mean, he was just missing some lobs in that one, right? 3 or 4
Correct.
lobs. And those errors just have to disappear. They're going to have to tighten up mentally, realize there's going to be only a certain few balls that they can really hit, and they're going to have to focus on getting that lob up and deep each time. You hit an average bad lob out here, and you don't have time to recover. That next ball's coming at you as a heavy cutter, and you're going to be just scrambling the whole time. You get that lob up, and then when you have the one ball you can take, pick your spot, take it, and then dial it back in. Now, this type of weather, see, if you hit a flat backhand like Buresh does, it is so much more advantageous. He just one-timed that early. It was a beautiful ball. Yeah, he just, see, that ball skidded and moved so fast away from Erdoga, you couldn't catch up to it. He was trying to crush it, so he just took a shot and was hoping. And I'm telling you, I think this is going to be whether Buresh is going to excel in, because he's a flat ball hitter.
Some really steady lobs.
Oh, wow. And not
Yeah.
that time.
Or
He
could
caught
pay.
him.
40, 50.
Yeah, great cutter there. He's putting his pedal down. It's going to get heavy. This is heavy now. This rain. You can see no dry spots on the court. The ball is fully waterlogged at this point. He is, I think, if I am, or,
Game
yeah,
Hughes, Powers.
he's just cutting it
They lead
and
1 game to love. Second
no
set.
shot. But the adjustment, if I'm Erdoga, that I make, where did Powers hit every one of those serves?
Down the tee there.
Yes, and he's got that natural spin, and you're seeing Erdoga having to move himself away from the ball, then trying to catch up with it as it's skidding away from him at about, triple the speed, right, that he's normally used to. He's going to have to move himself over and realize he's not going to get that forehand look the way he wants it. He's just got to get himself in there, and he could hit the backhand screen drive too.
That's a great point.
Yeah. That's great volleys. Buresh has good hands up there. He's trying to spin it a little, and I just think it's just really low. It's tough. You got to really focus on Getting that lob up and deep, and then when you get a ball that's waist high or higher, that's the one to hit. Tough. This one you could hit. Oh, good little move there from Hughes, but again, the lobs are short.
Oh.
And you're just seeing Hughes and Powers scrambling, and they're about as good as scrambling back there as any team. There's a good rip.
That's a fantastic volley there by Erdoga, just solid, absorbing all the pace.
See, Powers is just going for it now. He's feeling like he can hit the flat backhand, or he feels
Where
like
you
that's
love?
his number one option the longer it goes.
You kind of have
Less
to go for it
chances
at
it
that
is.
point, right?
And that's a tough call. I mean, not sure. They're just struggling right now, and it's a tough, tough, tough conditions. I think this is the kind of weather where if you don't hold
40
serve,
love.
it's not like it's that simple to break back. You're going to hold serve. You got to hold serve every time. This is probably going to be one break at best, or maybe a tiebreaker. It's like a John Isner tennis set, right? You know.
Yeah.
That's a good shot there.
40,
And these are,
15.
you know, often as paddle, you would tell paddle players like play yourself into it, but you just don't have that luxury in this weather.
No, you
You
just
want to
gotta
just
hold
try and make
serve.
high percentage mistakes if you do make a mistake.
Well, and you got to take calculated risks because
Absolutely.
if you get a ball to hit and you can, and you almost have to
Game
go for it.
Burris
When you do
and
go for
Droya,
it,
games
like
are 1-all, second set.
when you did see, you know, Powers hit that backhand and that he hit it like 1,000 miles an hour because he's not trying to roll it to gain position because you can't afford. You're not trying. You got to either win the point right there. You're just not going to get many more good looks because it's just so hard out there. Now here's the question: Can Hughes adjust his serve to get it in where he can hit it hard and heavy? Powers was able to do it. You saw it during his struggle. That's
Ball.
wide. And he's just
Love 15.
and Powers did a ton of damage in the last point. I'd have him be taking 80% of these overheads. All right.
15 all. It's wide. Thirty, 15. Forty, 15. Game Hughes Powers. They lead 2 games to 1. Second set.
Well, good job. They did their deal. They held serve, and that is the key out there, Mark Ennis.
Correct. Hughes and Powers 2-1 up in the second set. The rain is coming down heavy at Canoe Brook Country Club in beautiful Summit, New Jersey. Today not looking so beautiful, though.
Not beautiful at all. So we can talk about some of our other matches are on. Hannes Zabori won their first set against Delmonico and Gebbia, 6-4. And Nicolescu and Cruz are up 4-1. And just playing, you know, they were basically unseeded, not one of the top 4 seeds, but coming in as the favorite to win nationals.
Yes, I saw them play yesterday against Elliott and Rodesno, and they were really, really on fire.
Yeah, they are tough. I mean, just they bring a different, you know, she brings a different level of athleticism, Nicolescu. She makes the point, she
15.
speeds it up to a way that makes everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah, really dominating performance.
There's a good ball. Actually, Powers may like his backhand in this weather. He hits it much flatter than his forehand. His forehand is a heavy spin shot. That's a good cut over. They are working hard in that screen. Erdoga is doing a great job. Finding a little bit better rhythm here. Powers is working better. He's figuring it out some. Starting to deal with the elements a little.
And as you say, it's going to be with us all day, so either team has to get used to it, as one of these teams is going to be going through to the finals of the
Nice.
2021 championships.
Now we're seeing some attacking shots out of Hughes and Powers now. Powers starting to learn how to dictate a little with his ground game, which he has a great forehand and a good ground game, good backhand too. Ooh, and that's a skidder underneath the paddle of Erdoga. You won't see that basically ever unless the conditions are like this.
Great serve by Sven Buresh.
15-30. All.
All right, a couple of big moments here. Seems like they're getting a little opportunity here, Hughes and Powers. They're creating some, learning how to create a little. Oh, let cord, great job by Hughes. And I feel
30,
like
40.
a shot like that, you know, normally it doesn't make all the difference in a match, but I feel like on a day like today where points are going to be hard to come by,
Hold on.
a timely let cord's going to could come in huge, Mark Innes.
Absolutely, especially when you're looking to break someone's serve.
That's
Hey,
it
Hughes,
right there.
Powers.
I'm shocked that Buresh didn't bail there. Nicely
Maybe
done, and a
3 games to
break.
1, second set.
Although it's light rain right now, it's really coming at various degrees. I feel like it's much lighter this second. Nicely done there from Erdoga. Good athleticism.
So nimble.
But he did move over a little, and he didn't let that ball spin away from him. That's a bad ball. You got to keep it low. Do not allow people to hit the ball from high in this weather. 'Cause that's the one ball you can hit flat and actually hard all the time unless you're going right at the body. Nice job. Erdoga should have let that go around his body to the outside. Tried to move inside, and it just trapped him. Oh, that's long. Great shot there. Powers misses that volley.
15
Now
all.
he's got to think about that as he goes up to serve here. Yeah, he's doing a great job serving Erdoga up the tee. I'm telling you, Erdoga, give him the wide serve. Let's see what if he's got it.
Erdoga is really moving well
15,
today.
30.
He seems to be floating around that court and just really have some intensity behind every move.
He looks great. Surprised to see them let that go through the. Oh, he just hits Buresh. It skids right into his body.
30 all.
Tags him.
Yes, and again, that's just not something you normally see, because normally a ball with the spin, it will bite and move up to the right, to the left, I mean, and that ball just moved at Buresh. He is just on fire and playing it so beautifully, Erdoga. He's doing exactly what you want to do in this game. He's letting it go to the screen, letting it come off, and then hitting a flat drive straight, and now it's break point back.
30-40.
Powers went for a big ball there. Again, taking those calculated risks. If I am Hughes against the Erdoga return next time, I am all over that net. And that was smart by let it go to the screen.
Oh, are you kidding me?
He makes the move, trusting in the Erdoga drive, and just a perfect volley from Hughes. And he's such a good gentleman. He is actually one of the nicest guys on the tour. He's a great sportsman, and, you know, he would be completely concerned about Buresh there. So great volley. And what do you think about that move from Buresh there?
I don't mind it at all. He has confidence in his partner's drive, and he's anticipating a lower ball, so he's going to be blitzing. In this weather, might not necessarily be the right thing, but John Hughes makes a big-time play at a big moment.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. He made a big-time play. I don't really mind the move. That's out. No, it's good. And there, look at him go.
Wow. Every time.
That is 5 times now. He's
Advantage
letting it go to
Buresh
screen, and then he's going right in there. He's moved to his right, and now Powers may have to make the adjustment and serve the ball more inside because that ball's coming hard to the inside, and he's not catching him as he was before. Oh, Buresh. Now, let's see if he makes the adjustment. If he serves it hard up the middle again, Erdoga's on this. He is on it. There you go. See, and that stops him from going forward because he can't move that direction. That's exactly the right adjustment.
Smart play by Mark Powers.
Yeah. That's a great lob from Buresh. Wow.
Advantage Hughes, Powers.
Just a good job.
Now it's game point for Powers and Hughes. They saved a couple break points there.
Oh, not the right choice from Hughes. He thinks it's going long, but he just pooches it back, and Hughes thinks it's out, and it drops right on the baseline. Great job there by Buresh, just getting it back.
Let's see where Powers serves.
That's going to be trouble. Yeah, see that? You cannot go hard to the middle.
Advantage Buresh, Erdoga.
It worked the first 3 or 4 times because of where Erdoga was. He's made the adjustment now.
And it did seem like the ball seemed to be skidding a little bit more when he was serving down the tee earlier and running away from Erdoga.
Yeah, the weather's definitely spotty, and that was out.
Game Buresh, Erdoga.
And how about that?
Wow.
2 breaks in a row in this weather. All right,
Hughes,
so
Powers lead
Viking.
the second set, 3-2.
Let's talk about another of our sponsors. Viking has an unrivaled paddle lineup depth families, each family featuring 3 models, the Pro, the Light, and the Prodigy. 9 adult paddles with different weights, core densities, and overall hitting surfaces to address all levels of play. Vibrant gradients and a bold, modern color palette lead the way for the upcoming season. All paddles are hand-painted, giving each its own unique look. No gimmicks, just the best ball-striking paddles in the game and the official paddles of the APTA Viking. I mean, that was a great job by Buresh Erdoga. Couple of just, it's interesting how little things, like let's assume Hughes hits that ball, and he, you know, which was an easy ball that he lets go from Buresh. Odds are good they win that game, right? That little hanging in the balance things. It's just going to come down to a let cord, something like that. It's a great break from Buresh Erdoga.
Oh, you're absolutely right, especially in a dogfight like this.
Right. Powers has definitely found his offense in the backcourt. He has definitely found his offense some in the backcourt. And the rain has completely lessened up. I expect some dry spots out there relatively soon, but he's learning how to let the ball go to the screen and drive it.
Buresh and Erdoga get the net. You generally feel like once they're at the net, they're going to win most of the points. That's for either team.
Yep. That's for either team, for sure. That's out. Good play. He asked it flatter.
30-15.
And Buresh does a good job holding his position for a half second. Then he bails right right as Hughes is hitting it, and he just overplays it a little. It's very perky.
Really good move by Sven Buresh, holding right there, sliding out of the way like a matador.
Yes, he did. Ole. And yeah, Powers could not track the last 2 serves from Erdoga. They came off the screen in a way where he wasn't able to drive them.
I'm really impressed at the lack of mistakes Erdoga's made so far. In these conditions, it's very, very tough.
He's been rock solid, and he won 4 points in a row over there on that deuce side to propel them to that break. Without those 4 points, you know, in the last break they had, they were that game was long gone. All right. See, there's another reaching volley. I still will say, like, as great of volleys as they are, Mark Innes, they never put their body behind it. They just reach with their hands.
Correct, and then that's often probably a downfall when you are such a good volley. You get away with too much, so you don't always do the right technique.
Oh, that was just a great shot
30,
by
40.
Hughes. All right, this is another break point here. Can we possibly see 3 breaks in a row in this rainy conditions? The guys are really adapting well now.
It just may happen. Erdoga all over that net.
Yeah, good job by those guys.
And that's often one we would see him actually bail. He does that quite often, but in this weather it's so important to hold the net, as we've seen.
Not easy to play in transition today either. The ball's going to stay lower. Oh, takes his shot. Can't come up with the goods. Too bad.
Back to deuce. Erdoga is serving to tie it up.
Deep.
Just long.
Advantage, Hughes, Powers.
All right. Powers has had some good strikes. He's taken everyone off the back screen. So I might even throw in a couple of slower serves here and there just to mix it up. Oh, wow. Oh, nice ball from Buresh.
Oh.
And then just the hand-to-hand battle. Ball, he keeps it just low enough.
They lead 4 games to 2. Second set, new ball.
I think everyone feels like if they got a ball that's even close, they're just going to take their shot. Like in other conditions, I don't know that Erdoga would have done it anyway, Mark Innes, but in other conditions, you could decide if you're losing the point a little bit, I'll just lob volley that ball and retreat back and, you know, go back to the backcourt. Here, it's like you just might as well go for it.
Absolutely. You just don't have that luxury to grind it out all day. So when you do get a shot that you feel like you can actually take a cut at, you have to do it.
Oh, wow.
Definitely a lot of screen drives, as you said today, Brad. It's just so hard to take the ball off the deck with this kind of weather.
No, you saw Buresh actually get hit, and that time normally see you also got a discount spin working the way it normally does. So that ball normally, when Hughes hits that ball will spin to the back into Buresh. But in this case, just skids out and goes straight to the side. And great job serving here. The break now looming 2 breaks, actually. 3 breaks in this set. And look at Buresh. Buresh is really struggling.
Powers, they lead 5 games to 2, second set.
What we just saw there, Marcus, is going to happen every time. He's hitting that ball cut. When it goes wide to Buresh, it's going to go back screen and then just straight up the side wire. And so he's either got to camp out and try to block it, not stand over the way he does normally, like to try and get that big backhand return, slide over more, or just let it go and go straight to the side wire, and then you're just going to have to dig it out with it down the line.
Yeah, no, I think that's an adjustment that'll definitely have to be made because Hughes and Powers are winning almost every time they're serving to that ad court.
No, they definitely are. Right now, Buresh is the one who's been struggling, and this rain is bad. It is rough out there.
Hughes and Powers take a 5-2 lead in the second set at Canoe Brook. Both teams are playing for a spot in the finals of today's APTA
thought he was a smart guy.
2021 National Championships.
Known him for 40 years.
They are looking to play whoever wins the match between Johan Durant, Stephen Mitchell, who are taking on Tyler Frazier and Adam Morgan.
And it'll be now, I think, Sven Buresh looking to stay in this game here. Trying to serve his way. They're going to have to start with a hold here. And speaking of 5-2, and Hughes Power's up 5-2 in this set. Cruz Nicolescu, we're at 5-2, and they just won that first set against Cooper and Molenveld, our second seeds, 6 games to 2.
Players ready?
Sven Buresh up to serve.
Stay in this set. Oh, see, he's trying to roll over that thing.
Love 15.
There's a version of a karate chop that's long, that of a karate chop type serve.
Love 30.
I'm going to take a screen video here at home and send it to you, Mark. That is so useful in this type of weather.
Let me see. I want to see it.
I was actually just kidding. I'm not taking that video for you.
I was looking for a Mr. Miyagi
Yes,
type.
but I will
type
show it
video
to you
coming.
next time I see you. Here you go.
Fault.
That is long. And he's just looking at his paddle, but
15, 40.
it's not the paddle. It's the adjustment you have to make in the service motion. And there is a
second set,
4-fault
Hughes
game.
6 games to 2. 2 minutes.
He's taking another. Good
Gotta take a
idea.
little practice. Not a bad idea, yep.
See, Buresh has his long, fluid motion, all right? He goes up and in there and kind of rolls his wrist over the top of it. Don't roll your wrist at all. Just literally almost like a flat board, a karate chop. If I can get you on the Zoom call, I'll show you.
There you go.
He's going to the other side. He's taking another. There we go. So Powers Hughes able to make an adjustment, get 3 breaks in a set where initially we were talking about there being no breaks, but that's just a 4-faulter right there, and a good job by all the players out there. I think Buresh is to regroup a lot right now because that was a tough set for him. He got burned. He got hit with the serve. He got burned ace twice in that last game that John Hughes served. So more regrouping to be done, and they'll square off the third.
Absolutely, and we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA network presented by eNet Live.
1, 2, 3.
What are you guys counting?
Stars.
Where do you see stars?
On all these cars.
Spot a star in a BMW, and you're looking at a BMW from BMW of Springfield, part of the Celebrity Motor Car Group. The star is your assurance you'll receive exclusive red carpet treatment like no other.
Look, Mommy, now our car is a star.
The fastest way to get the status you deserve and the value you expect is to follow the star to BMW of Springfield.
Welcome back to the APTA 2021 Nationals presented by eNet Live. We are at Canoe Brook Country Club in Summit, New Jersey, and this is the men's semifinal matchup between Mick Erdoga and Sven Buresh taking on John Hughes and Mark Powers. Both teams just split sets, and we are going to be going to a third set in some very, very dreary weather here in Summit, New Jersey, Brad.
Indeed we are, and clearly it's had a great effect on the match. I mean, you can count on one hand the amount of points we've had that have lasted more than 15 balls, right? And 15 balls is not a long paddle point by any stretch for many levels of play. And you know, it's just making a huge difference out there.
No, you're absolutely right, and you know, not ideal weather for the players, not ideal weather for the fans, because it's generally not going to see the sort of paddle-esque points that we've come to love in the real chess match. But this is a dogfight. You're going to have to make adjustments. We've seen Hughes and Powers start to make some adjustments in that second set, and it went in their favor. So I'm very curious to see now what Buresh and Erdoga can come up with in this third set.
Well, I tell you, Erdoga did a great job. Remember that one break they did get? You know, he did a great job adjusting to the power serve and making a few breaks. Hughes found a little spot for his serve there where he was able to serve 4 or 5 aces in that last game. But the conditions right now are complete skid ball. You chop that ball down in there, the ball will stay low. You hit the ball down up,
They both go up.
you're giving your opponents a gift to hit the ball like from high to low. And that is, you just keep the ball low in there, and your opponents can only hit like a low percentage shot, low over the net that has, you know, because you can't spin it. So it's tricky out there.
Absolutely, and you definitely feel like there's small adjustments to be made, as you said, with maybe some positioning things on the return and taking cuts at the right time. But you also got to feel like it's all going to come down to who can somewhat execute at the moment, who can put a serve in, who can take the net, small things like that. The window is going to be tiny in this third set.
Well, I think that's a great point, Mark, because when you say a tiny window, what you're really meaning is the opportunities are so fewer. Frequently when we watch and play a point, you say, just keep putting the ball in play and look for that exact ball you're going to get. Well, here, you're only going to get maybe one ball to chance. So the opportunities are so small, you have to, every little adjustment you make is magnified by, see, probably a factor of 10 in weather like this, because if you're not in the right position, they get the ace. But if you could put that ball back into play, right, and possibly get a chance to make a strike at a ball, you know, and that's the tricky part. And we'll see how the players keep handling it.
Very well articulated there, Brad. And we have Mark Powers up to serve. He's leading off the third set, and he's had a lot of success on his serve to the ad court. Let's see how he serves Mick Erdoga in the deuce court, who has been having some success redriving off that back screen.
Oh, there we go. And we've had now 5 faults in a row. We finished it with 4 faults from Buresh. And oh, man, good just to get it back. But oh, my goodness, he is just coming after him. The other thing he's going to have to start doing is keep your hands in front. And you can either one-time it off the deck early or let it go. See, he has got it. He knows exactly where he's going with that.
15,
and
30.
Powers should move wider now and hit that ball at the crease. He's hitting it to the center of the court, which means it's coming out easy. The one good thing they got is they've literally gotten 95% of the points on the ad side so far. If he's got to change his serve, he should move wider and go wider.
There you see it.
Yeah, and even wider than that, but that will stop him from moving forward when he's hitting the return. And that is just huge from the outset.
Yeah.
There goes Buresh trying to start. He's doing the right job now. Buresh, watch him. He's just lowering his paddle. He's staying as low as possible. He's got the right idea. This is an opportunity here. They got to keep going at Buresh. I mean, he's got the paddle. Watch where his paddle is now. He's right on the deck, and that is how you play it. They did a better job there
40,
surviving.
30.
Their paddle has
surviving is definitely the right word for that, Brad.
Well, I think that's all they could have done in that case. And you survive till you get your opportunity. Wow, good job from Buresh. They're spinning that ball in there. See, if I'm Buresh, I might take a strike there, but that's a hell of a lob.
And he definitely has the right kind of swing, as you've said, for this weather, to take that little 1-2 punch.
There it is. There it is. There it is. 30 all. There, that's it. Little adjustments. That's the danger serve. See, you can't do that one.
I would imagine at this stage, you probably don't feel comfortable mixing it up too much on the serve.
Maybe not. And see, that's a bad overhead from Buresh. Do not hit those. Those are like the best balls to them. Drop the ball. Drop the ball. Let it get down as low as it can get where you feel comfortable. That's out. See, you cannot hit those overheads from high to low, Mark Ennis. Drop the ball, make it skid.
Especially in this weather, just sets up that screen drive, which is exactly what Hughes and Powers want right now.
That was a big point there. They took the net.
Oh.
Game Hughes Powers. They lead.
Did a good job, Buresh, regrouping on some of it. Got his paddle low, but now he's going to have to adjust the overheads too.
And those are going to be the small tactical things that could make the difference in this match. Exactly like that. You have a point that you actually managed to get the net. You have to do those things like letting the ball drop low on your overhead so it does skid through.
And like we said, they're not small things in this type of weather. They're actually the big things,
Oh.
right? Because they're the only things.
Yes.
Great serve. He missed it long.
Love 15.
All right, so Buresh or
Love
Doya.
30.
Take some time here, guys. Let yourself. This is a mental battle as much as anything else. Wow, shocker.
3 break
Love
points
40.
early on in the third set for Hughes and Powers.
There we go. He's going to take the drive on that. See, and I just don't see the point in staying back in today's weather. Come in no matter what. I don't care who you're facing. And that is
Game
just
Wow.
too good
Powers,
right there.
they lead 2
Come in
games
no
to
matter
love.
what. And then I actually
set.
liked what I saw there. Did you see the switch in the backcourt? It wasn't purposeful because he just served and stayed back. But right now, Buresh is getting crushed in that corner. If they can get into a point where they can control a ball, they might want to switch a little. And that would force Hughes to start working the deuce corner. And we haven't seen him have to do it. Right now, Powers is doing all the overhead work. And there's a great ball there. He caught up to that one. Nice job. He was a little like Gumby there,
15.
Plastic Man.
And that's definitely the offense we're seeing from the baseline. Is it's all screen drives today.
That's all you're going to get. There's a good lob. He's concentrating on high and deep lobs. That's what you got to concentrate on. And there, Powers goes for the up and down overhead. Big mistake.
Love 30.
That's the right ball for Hughes to hit. You don't want to just lob that one back.
An opportunity.
Yep,
Ball.
and that's out. So, talking
Love
about
40.
hold and serve, and yet the teams are starting to adjust properly, and they're just more faults than are normally made. That's long
Game
two.
Buresh Adroya.
Killer.
Hughes
Well
Powers.
done,
Hughes and
Buresh
Powers.
Adroya.
To 1.
Give the break
Third
right
and
back.
final set.
They are
Ball.
2-1 up in the third set. Sven Buresh up to serve. He had a tough service game to close out the second set, Brad. Let's hope he got some confidence or feel in it, and can make an adjustment.
Yeah, that's the key. You saw him afterwards taking a couple of serves, and he faulted 4 in a row. So he's got to have a short memory, or at least a memory that allows him to make the adjustment. So he's learned from his last mistakes in the last service game.
I love to see them taking the time to talk a little bit there.
No.
Make sure they're on the same page.
Later,
He's
unless
going to
you're
take
in.
one. And every serve that he missed last time, he's taking another. There he goes. Was mostly in the net. He's got to come all the way up and through. There you go.
Definitely a flatter ball we see him hitting there.
Love 15.
All right. Oh. He's still looking at his paddle, but it's the delivery.
Love 30.
And that's where it becomes a mental battle. Yeah, that's just such a good ball. Yeah, Hughes did not feel
15,
comfortable taking it off
30.
the dead. He puts up the weak lob, and that's it. Just cut it right at the guy. You can't get out of the way. It skids right into him.
And it had that nice low contact.
And there we go.
Full
Fist pump
hydroplane.
30 all.
And that's where it gets tricky. There's always little spots in the court that just collect a little bit of water. And sometimes it hits them and skids like that. Sometimes it doesn't. You just never know in this weather.
There are definitely some variables. Yeah, if you get the lob up deep enough and you get the guys behind the service line, you got a good chance. They're hitting balls from inside. You're in trouble. Yeah, but Buresh still hitting down up overheads. I just think that is a bad idea. That's where you want to go, lower. Nope. All right, get a game point. Tie it up here. They're being down 2-love.
40-30.
Such a weight to get it back to even in this kind of conditions. Lifted weight. Nice ball there.
Microdoya loading up. You see how he step paddle bends his knees
Game, Burris,
and really
Adroya.
unleashes on that overhead.
Games
And he
are
cut that
2-all,
right
third
into
set.
him. I think he hit Hughes once and he hit Powers once. Great job.
Mark Powers up to serve. 2-all in the third set.
Oh, that was one he wants back.
15
That's the
love.
bread and butter ball, but he's been making 90% of them. You got to miss one. That is the serve that Powers has got to be careful with in this weather. It's the one thing he's going to crush, although it seems like it's lightening up again. All right, good job there. Oh!
Microdoya closing the net.
Puts the pressure on.
This is a big return right here.
That's out.
15-30.
I would serve this thing wide right at the crease into the Erdoga's corner.
Oh,
Oh,
the net cord takes it
all
out.
Just what a great move and a good look. Like we said, it's going to be little things that make all the difference. 30-all. That's a better serve too because didn't pop out as much. Took a little pace off it. That's the other option. There's the switch. Just wide. Oh, goodness. So
40-30.
close. Oh!
And we're back to deuce. 2-all in the third set.
Everything feels really magnified to me. Like, you know, one fault's going to make the difference. One let cord that goes a little long.
It's because it absolutely is going to.
Oh,
Wow.
great move, and nobody called that out till it was too late. Buresh with a great blitz.
Oh, my word!
How about that?
Advantage.
Mark Powers
Burris,
played that
Adroya.
perfectly. He was closing the net, had Buresh and Adoya on the ropes, just couldn't execute.
Great job by them making the reflex volleys. And how big is this shot right here? That's going to come off enough.
Oh,
Nice way to set the paddle low. Oh, it spins away from him.
wow.
Deuce.
And it's
Mark
a hometown
Powers.
crowd for Buresh Erdoga. You know, Erdoga, the director of racket club, racket sports at the Montclair Golf Club, and Sven Buresh, the
Advantage,
director
Burris, Adroya.
over at Essex Fells Country Club, from about 10 minutes away.
Definitely big support for the local Jersey boys. Buresh and Adoya.
Wow, what a get there! Oh, he's down. He falls about. I used to think John Hughes fell a lot. Buresh has been on the ground a few times.
Standard procedure.
That's it. Oh,
There's
did
that
not want
window.
to hit that.
There's that window. Microdoya gets one look, he
Game,
pulls the
Burris,
trigger, and
Adroya,
it goes his way that time. And that's what
2.
we're talking about, Brad. You just get those small
and final
glimpses. You
set.
can't really wait for the ideal ball. But when you get something that's slightly comfortable, you have to be able to pull the trigger, Erdoga executes. They break back. They are 3-2 up in the third set.
And that's 3 games in a row for Buresh Erdoga, so tremendous work.
And it's just like we were saying earlier, that window's so small. Powers and Hughes had a game point there. Powers missed one serve. Obviously, these conditions are tough, but that's what it's going to come down to. Just these small windows of opportunity and who can step through. Mick Erdoga is up to serve, looking to consolidate that break and take a 4-2 lead in this third set. Both teams are battling it out for a spot in the finals of the APTA National Championships.
And the weather's lightening up a little right now. Yeah, the ball seems to be bouncing a lot truer now.
Yes.
That's wide. Good move.
15 love.
It definitely seems like the heaves are kicking in, weather's lightening up, and we're getting a bit more of a true bounce.
I think I'm seeing some dry spots appear, so we definitely are getting it. And it's making a huge difference. There's Buresh with the blitz again, which made a massive difference in winning that last game. Made a great blitz.
But I would like to see that adjustment that you were talking about of Erdoga actually serving and coming in on the ad court. Generally, I love him staying back, but in this weather, it's so important to try and get the net. Here's another good adjustment.
Yeah, I like this. Make Powers have to think about where he's hitting his return. Oh, he tricky lob there. Oh, great look for Hughes.
40,
and that's what it's going to come down to, just executing something like that. Certainly the shot he wants to play.
2 game points here for Buresh and Erdoga to take a 4-2 lead.
Oh, it like he was. It almost looked like he was going to drive it for a second, and then went with a quick lob and just lost control, lost the handle on it.
Definitely a little bit of indecision there for John Hughes.
All right, now he's got to forget about it, come up and serve a really good game. Oh,
wow.
Just a great return from Erdoga. He's been
love 15.
as good as you can be in these conditions.
What defense there. Some very tough overheads by Hughes and Powers.
Yeah, I love this look in the backcourt for them. Makes the middle, you know, makes it tougher for them to attack that side screen over there, forces Hughes to start attacking over there. And he hasn't really done it the whole match, so let's just see if he can or if it's going to make a difference.
And it definitely seems like Erdoga is going to be able to dig out some of those lower balls from Powers in that corner.
Correct. No, I love this look. I thought they should have done this before because there was that moment.
Oh!
Good fortune. Love it. That was big.
15 all.
A lead cord, and that's what you were saying. It can come down to these tiny things. 15 all. John Hughes serving to go 4-3.
Oh, what a lob! That was incredible. Oh, he's so slippery with that forehand.
He just threads that needle.
What an incredible lob from Buresh.
15,
Great
30.
hands.
15-30, just a massive point here. This could get them 2 break points.
Wow, they're lobbing well here in this game. Oh,
30
Buresh
all.
takes the strike down the line, and you can see the dry spots coming. The ball is going to dry out a little. The skid ball is going to stop. There's going to be no more skid balls. Spin will start to take play. Should get a little more normal.
40,
It's still not
30.
there yet. But for this moment, it's definitely drying up. Oh, what a shot. Oh, big ball there. There's a switch at the net. That's a silly shot from Buresh there.
Game
He's
Hughes,
trying to hold it.
Powers.
Be a little tricky, but
Burris Adroya lead 4 games to 3. Third and final.
He'll definitely want that one back. That is a very
Last
tough
game of
hold
this
for
ball.
John Hughes. They were 15-30 down, and they played some great points. Had a little fortune with the leg cord, but that's a solid hold by John Hughes. They're right back in it.
terrific hold. And yeah, that lead cord was big to be down love 30 versus 15 all. Just like we said, it's all just coming down to it. It's every little shot matters.
Sven Buresh up to serve. He had struggled all day, but that last service game he seemed to have clicked a little bit on how to get that ball in and get to the net.
And it seems like it's raining more again. There were a couple of dry spots. They seem like they're gone. Yeah, it's not going to ever clear up quite enough. Oh, that's such a good volley there.
Big time.
Erdoga. And a great close. And Powers just unloads because it's as good a ball he might
15
get.
love.
Normally he would spot that ball with heavy spin off a right or left hip. He just unloaded on that, going for pace. And Buresh has found a little rhythm on his serve.
You can see that rain starting to come down again.
Yeah, it's coming down heavy. We had just that little brief moment, but now it's back to heavy rain. This ball's going to start skidding again shortly. They're both off the net. That's a good look ball. Gonna have to execute
30
those.
love.
Absolutely, definitely the right shot for the moment.
Sure,
Just
sure
had
was.
to pull the trigger. Oh,
Yeah, great job from Erdoga, just standing there.
closing the net, surviving the onslaught.
It's a nice block. He's coming after that corner. Wow. What a dig, but cannot come up with. That's just a great overhead and a
40
great
love.
angle from our production crew.
And I love to see Erdoga going for his overheads in this weather.
Oh no, now it's going to be an interesting thing trying to break in this last game. Erdoga has not struggled with the serve. Assuming that's Powers and Hughes.
I was unsighted. I can't call it. It was behind him.
All right, so called long,
Game.
and that's game.
Game Burris Adroya. They lead 5 games to 3. Third and final set.
Buresh
Ball.
and Erdoga are 5-3 up in the third set. Mark Powers up to serve, looking to stay in the match.
Yep, and then they're going to have to break in this heavy rain weather. So this will be, but it'll be exciting because, well, it's all exciting at this point.
We knew it was going to be a drag down dogfight, 3 sets, and here we are, 5-3 in the third. Mark Powers up to serve.
And this is heavy rain right now. Oh yeah, that ball's skidding now.
And Mark Powers has had a lot
Yep,
of success
that ball's
with that.
skidding now. Look at it. It's just going.
And when
15
he's
love.
been serving to the ad court, he's had a lot of
15 love.
success when it's been skidding like this.
Oh, that was that stretch of few games there where they just had Buresh
There it
basically
is.
exactly like that.
There it is.
They were exactly
love.
like that the entire time, you know, and he could barely even get a racket on him. That's good serve, and Erdoga's got a shot, but it's just now it's
40 love.
and assuming they hold this one out, this is what they're going to have to try to break in. He's skidding too, so Buresh actually slipped a little
Game
there.
Hughes Powers. Burris Adroya lead 5 games.
But there we
to
see it. The
4.
weather comes down
Third
again,
set.
and the power serve is just so tough to return in this weather. And the only real adjustment that maybe you could make if you're Sven Burris in the ad court is to try and take a swing off the deck or a bump, because it seems like when it's getting to the screen, it's just no chance.
Yeah, just a little half volley bump. And either way, it's difficult. But now it's going to come down to getting the serve in the box for Erdoga, who has been pretty lights out. He has not struggled at all with his serve. He's taken a practice one there, and he's done a great job. I'd like to see him serve and volley against Powers in this, because you got to hold the net here.
And the ball is on his paddle. Mick Erdoga up to serve for a spot in the finals of the National Championship.
And just a perfect serve right out of the box. Got to lob well, and he does. That's a winner. Oh! But it's out.
Wow.
Nice try. What a good effort from Hughes. I called it as a winner, and he almost came up with the goods.
Fantastic volley. John Hughes almost snuck out some magic. There's that skid.
That's it. 2 points from the match and their first
30
final.
love.
30 love.
Another great serve, and it's triple match points.
40 love.
Put the serve in the box. Let them see if they can hit a winning return. He did. It's a big, and that is
Game,
out.
set, and
Game,
match. Burris
set,
Adroya.
and
the big
match.
fist pump.
They win
Finals.
6-3, 2-6.
Wow, there it
6-4.
is.
Congratulations, players.
Definitely not the way any of the players or conditions would want to have played in, but incredible matchup. We knew it was going to be a dogfight, and they delivered.
They
3
certainly did.
big sets. What do you think about that match, Brad?
I mean, it was incredible. They did a great job adjusting to the condition. I mean, you know, no pun intended, but they weathered the storm, you know, and they got through it, did a great job. And there were moments where they were on the ropes. It looked like in that second set. They were down 2-love. They come back make a couple of huge points. And Erdoga, the whole way through, was just rock solid the whole way through.
You're absolutely right. And what was so tricky about that match is the constant adjustments that had to be made. Sometimes it was skidding, sometimes it was not. It was just, you could never settle in and get a rhythm. And a big credit to Mick Erdoga and Sven Burris. They weathered the storm, as you said, and Erdoga looked locked and loaded and really played a solid match all 3 sets.
They certainly did, and now they'll look forward to a final round matchup between Stephen
Have
Mitchell
another
and
Bloody
Johan
Mary,
Durant,
you.
our reigning champions, and that'll be coming up, as well as our women's final. So we look forward to that.
Any predictions you want to throw in for the finals, Brad?
You know, I cannot call against Mitchell and Durant, and a lot of it's going to depend on conditions. I honestly believe that the more the conditions get rainy, with how well Erdoga played out here, I got to believe it equalizes things and makes it even better for him. So we'll have to see what it's going to be like. I mean, these conditions are tough, and they are variant. They seem to be a little bit variable, but I'm getting the feeling this is how both the women's and the men's finals are going to get played in this kind of weather.
Oh man, what a day. The finals are coming up. I cannot wait. We look forward to seeing you all later. Stay tuned. It's going to be an incredible day of paddle. Great call in this with you, Brad.
Absolute pleasure, Mark Innes, and we'll see everybody around here for the women's final coming up and the men's final as well.